Podcast. Coach Mesa, how's it going today, buddy?
Good. I don't think we're on Twitter right now because right now it says broadcast is not available.
Well, we are now. We are on, buddy. I'm looking at it. So update your
On on
stuff
on, on Twitter?
on X, baby. Let's go.
Oh, really? How weird.
Let's go. So, how's your day going, buddy?
So far so good. So far so good. Nice 3-day weekend.
Yeah. Happy George Washington, Abraham Lincoln birthday to you. I think
Yeah. Although
presidents. They were all born today. All the presidents were born today.
I've been sick. I've been sick the last 4 days. Today's probably the best day I've felt in a while. But
Yeah, you look like $1,000,000.
do I look like $1,000,000? I there we go. All right, so let me.
You look fantastic, my friend. You look fantastic.
I appreciate it. I'm just trying to keep
It's
an eye on the chat here for us there.
It's going around. I mean, everyone I've talked to is either fighting some kind of bug off. I'm in the middle of fighting something off myself. Everyone's either fighting it off already. There you go. In the middle of fighting it off. There's been a stomach bug going around too.
Yeah.
And we're in the thick of it, in the buildings, right? With working with the kids and all that kind of stuff. So take that zinc, take that vitamin D, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm taking that stuff.
You got to take that stuff. I'm dominating.
I just be sick. I just be sick and let it go.
Vitamin C is key. Vitamin D, zinc. You got to take all of it, buddy.
Yeah. Like my wife gets on to me because like I don't do anything really to reduce the fever. I just kind of just deal with it. I mean, unless I have to do something, I don't take anything. I just kind of
look at you. You're au natural.
I just let it run its course. So
that impressive.
It had done me pretty well, but this time I was a little more sick, and so
yeah, I couldn't avoid this one. Well, buddy, big news. This is kind of it's a big week, right? It's a big week going on here.
It is, yeah, for sure.
We got a big announcement today that we can't wait to tell everyone about. Later this week, we got the Coach Overton interview we're releasing.
Yeah. So everyone can hear about what's going on at St. James because I know that's a pretty popular topic right now. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah. So a lot of your questions will get answered. I think most of your questions will get answered. I don't think we didn't ask him anything that probably nobody else would want to know.
I agree. Everyone that I've spoken to that found out we interviewed Coach Overton about St. James, they'd ask questions and I had the answers.
No,
right? They'd ask me questions. They'd go like, whether it's scholarship related, whether it's schedule related. They were asking questions, and I was able to give them answers because of the interview. So I think everyone's going to really find that a really helpful and interesting interview.
Yeah, and if you listen to the interview, then you only have the answers. You'll have the answers that we have.
That's right. And then next week we got an interview with Coach Vossler. So just a lot of good stuff coming. Coming.
Yeah, we're already into March, and then it'll be 7-on-7 time.
Man, just like that, buddy. Well, in the meantime, you and I have been working some things. We've been talking to people, eating celebrity deli sandwiches, all that kind of stuff, this off season, doing the things we got to do. And let's get to our big announcement here. And the big announcement is not the logo change, my friend.
Oh, no, it's not the logo change.
It's not the logo change. You got the new logo updated for 25.
Yeah.
With our names on. Look at that. Our name's on the mic, engraved on the mic. Dash and Dan engraved on the microphone. But that is not the update. So let's break it down, man. So we have been talking to NFHS.
Yeah.
Right? I guess via, their kind of their partner, right?
Yeah.
Who kind of runs a lot of their broadcasting stuff and their partnerships. And we have worked out a kind of a deal for next season, next fall, where we're going to kind of have our best way to put it, our own kind of red zone. And we're not going to call it the red zone.
We are not.
We're not going to call it the red zone. We got a name for it.
That's copyrighted.
Right. We got a name. We got a name for it. But we're going to have our own red zone channel of Nova Sports.
Yeah.
And we did this a little bit during the season last year, talking about games. We didn't show the games because we have integrity.
Yeah, we do.
We have integrity. So we didn't show the games. We will now be able to show snippets of games.
Right.
Big moments, touchdowns, that kind of thing live as we kind of hop around the dial.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll be able to, any place that has an FHS feed will be able to show you what's happening currently at that game. So if you are at a game on Friday night, which a lot of people who listen to the show, they're out on Friday nights at the games, they can just get on their phone and put us on, and they can see what other things are happening around the region or the areas, right? Between here, Prince William, in Fairfax, Prince William, Arlington. They can come around and see what's happening, who's scoring, who's doing what while they're at the games.
Right. The days of having to rely on Score Stream or some other kind of thing, they're done, right? Because you're going to have up to the minute, or more or less. I know there's a little bit of a buffer with the feeds, NFHS feeds, but pretty much up to the minute. Updates, and not only updates, but who's scoring, right? Who's making the big play. I mean, if you're at a game, quite frankly, and you're live at a game, you kind of go on our channel, and you can kind of catch. There's a lot of down moments in a football game.
Right.
You can kind of see what's going on around the region and sort of the highlights.
Right. Or if you're at the half, you can look and see who's playing right then. You can always check that out. And also, with that capability is going to mean when we do our recap show on Sunday, we're going to be able to show clips of games on there as well. So one, we'll be able to do it. Two, if you have an NFHS account, you can clip the game yourself on your own NFHS account. Just title what it is, and we can find it, and it'll be on our recap show. If you have an NFHS account and do a clip, just make sure you tag it. And maybe put our names in there somewhere on there as well in the title, and we'll put that highlight on the recap show.
And that's a great point, right? And I'm going to reiterate that because that if you have an NFHS account, right, and if you don't, you need to get one, because if you have one, you can again clip your highlight, tag us. That weekend. Let's say that the next Saturday after you played a game on Friday night, you got home on Saturday, you found your highlight on NFHS, you tag us. We're creating the highlight show for the Sunday show. You tag us in it. We're gonna put your highlight on the show.
Right. Also, if those of you guys who do need to sign for NFHS account, we can give you a code to go through and sign up through our names. That way, people know that people in Northern Virginia are watching on their streaming service, which means that we may get better cameras out. I know there's a talk about getting better cameras and how that's all going to work.
Again, great point. At the conclusion of the show, we'll put a link. We'll put it on our socials, and we'll be doing this throughout the course of the next several months, right? But again, if you're going to sign up for an NFHS account, use our link, and like Coach Mason said, it's gonna show them, hey, people are watching that show.
Right.
That's a good show. And again, talking about moving on better cameras in a year or two when the new contract comes up and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to better everybody, right? You want better camera, you want better access, better everything. Then we're going to put those links out. And if you're going to get NFHS, subscription, do it through all the hitches. That way, it's better for everybody.
Yeah. So again, it's going to be exciting. Friday night, you'll be able to see games. You won't have to, hopefully go and see on Channel 7. Maybe a couple of games get shown. You'll be able to see. We'll be able to clip every game that has an NFHS feed. We'll be on there. Well, we'll help that out though, because I know some people do not set up their camera to have their score on there. If you do that, you'll be able to make it so that way everyone will be able to see what your score is and how much time is left in each game.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's something that we'll be reaching out to a lot of the schools about too, and a lot of the coaches and DSAs about is make the NFHS feed as good as possible, right? Put the clock on there, put the scores on there. Some schools do, some schools don't. I think most schools do, not all.
Yeah.
I think more do it than not. But connect it to that scoreboard and get that stuff on there, because that's going to help us. It's going to help the student athletes. It's going to help the parents, right? It's going to help everybody. If you have that on there, it's going to make it much more accessible to get highlights and put those clips up there. Because at the end of the day, this is about a couple things. One, our Friday night show, Friday Night Spotlight, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
All Hitches Friday Night Spotlight show is all about giving you guys access to games and giving you guys updates in games and hopefully, kind of teasing you in these games and being like, hey, I'm going to, I just saw Braddock score a touchdown. I'm going to go watch the whole Braddock game. And maybe, you go into your NFHS feed and you watch the rest of that Braddock game because we'll be hopping around the dial 100 miles an hour, Scott Hansen style.
Not Tony Rally,
Andrew Siciliano. We know we love Andrew Siciliano. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
He is the red zone GOAT. Now, another fun aspect of this, which we did during the state title game, which will bring to this kind of a Manning cast meets red zone. We're going to have our guests, and we'll be able to have guests on our show while we're kind of going up and down the dial. We can bring maybe some coaches who are on bye weeks,
right?
Can kind of come on and talk a little bit. We can bring other coaches from around the area, other Nova celebrities, right? Around the area. Maybe while we eat celebrity subs.
That's right.
That's right. Right. And we haven't even gotten into the some of the restaurants and partnerships which we're going to get into later on in the spring,
right? In
early summer. We might even take this show on the road sometimes.
Yeah, it might be hard though. Depending on
you need good Wi-Fi. You would need to be assured of good Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
If we can be assured of good Wi-Fi, we can take it on the road. We got some things cooking. Cooking.
But the big announcement is everyone's gonna be able to see, a lot of these games get covered on Friday nights, and as many games as we can. I mean, obviously, you're talking about how many total teams we have just in the 6A. I thought you had the number.
Yeah, I do. Northern Virginia across the board from Arlington to the farthest part of PW and everything in between. You're looking at almost 70 teams.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're talking about 35 games. So, which means that, we won't be spending very much time. Like you were saying, if you want to watch full games, NFHS is one to sign up for to make sure you'll be able to watch full games. But we'll be able to show you kind of what you'll be able to see through our cast.
And so, I mean, really, the big story, again, is Friday night show, right? The Friday night show kind of hopping around the dial, getting you the highlights live, combined with the Sunday show, right? The highlight show we had last year previously, but now our Sunday show can now have highlights.
Yeah. It'll almost be like not Sunday Countdown. What's the Chris Berman show? Why can't I think of
a good old prime time.
NFL primetime instead of NFL primetime, might be Nova primetime, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
kind of do the rumbling, stumbling, bumbling.
Right, but so it'll be pretty cool. You'll be able to watch all these highlights live, and then be able to watch our recaps on Sundays.
Right, and that's huge. I mean, to have the highlights on the Sunday show, which is still obviously a podcast. We'll talk through the highlights, obviously,
right?
But we'll be able to show them for anybody who's watching the YouTube version. And then, and again, the Friday night show. So it's going to open up with just and all this, with NFHS's blessing, which is awesome. NFHS, Play On, right? The kind of the partnership there, working together is going to be a huge, between Play On and kind of a family there, right? We're going to try and bring all that together. NFHS, Play On, and All Hitches, kind of bringing the whole trifecta together there.
Right. So it's a really good partnership. We're trying again just to kind of bring exposure to the schools, the athletes, the communities that really support these programs. So hopefully, again, that was always our thought from the beginning, is kind of bring a light to some kids who, this, again, like I've talked about before, this is going to be it for them, right? Playing athletics, and then. Now we'll be able to even make that spotlight a little brighter. Yeah,
no doubt. Being able to kind of, we've been telling people all along that this past season, the enthusiasm that we've seen in Northern Virginia football, all of a sudden it kind of grew. People kind of always said, football's not, it's Northern Virginia, football's not. No. We found out this year that football is still king, even in Northern Virginia. Right. And so we want to kind of take that now. We know people want it. People want to, watch it and see more of it, and we're going to bring it to them.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our big announcement,
That
which is, I think, a pretty big announcement.
Yeah, that's the big announcement.
I would argue that there probably isn't a whole. I mean, I don't know. I think as a country that might be able to do something like this. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somewhere in Texas. I know in California it's not. In California, it's a pretty big hotbed of talent. In Southern California, you don't get anything like that. You'll get a dedicated recap show. It's like 30 minutes, but the ability to be able to see games as they're going on. I don't know. I don't know if that's really been done anywhere before.
No, I agree with you. I mean, taking the red zone concept, combined with sort of the Manning cast concept, and applying that to the region's high school football games, that's not being done anywhere.
No,
that's not being done anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's something that it's totally exclusive. And I hope the audience and everyone out there is going to appreciate what they're going to get this year. Now, we might miss some stuff, right? We might be watching, Braddock march down the field and score a touchdown. We missed the Westfield touchdown or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We'll try and get to it as fast as we can. But there's only two of us, right? We don't have the NFL Network capabilities going on here.
We don't have a studio full of people. It'll be you and I trying to monitor a billion games on home computing stuff. But if anyone's interested in helping out with this, if you'd like to volunteer your time or you have some ideas, let us know, and we'd love to hear from you and kind of see what you can help us do with it. But let us know.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I remember last year we would get updates from people like live, right? So even if we didn't get a game, and I'm hoping that grows this year. So maybe we missed a score in a game. Well, now we can quickly say, okay, I know we were showing the Braddock highlight, but in the Woodson game, so and so scored in case you missed it. So we can at least give those live, fast updates quick.
Right.
Because I don't think what I'm loving about this is score updates weren't enough. I want to let people know, not only the score, but who scored, right? I mean, let's give these student athletes. It's 2025.
Right.
Let's not act like it's 1995. Right. Let's start. Let's put that information out there.
Right. That long time ago. Was 1995 a long time ago?
Gosh, it doesn't feel like it, but apparently it is. We're on the 30-year anniversary of 1995, my friend. But yeah, so it's important. Let's move with the times and let people are scoring. Let them know who's scoring and when they scored.
Yeah,
it's time. The time is now. The time is now. So George Allen once said that, to keep it in football terms, right? And George Allen, the future is now.
The future is now. Was he? When did he say that?
George Allen, I've seen a bunch of speeches. He had the Over the Hill gang, remember?
Yeah.
So he'd give a bunch of speeches about it wasn't about the future, it was about now, right? Because he knew he had the Over the Hill gang. Not that we're the Over the Hill gang, my friend. We are not the Over the Hill gang.
I don't know.
Even though we might be over the hill, we're not the Over the Hill gang.
No. Is that just because there's not enough of us to be over the hill yet?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So we are really excited. And, let us know. Like I said, you're going to be seeing a lot more of this kind of stuff. You're going to see us, tagging, some of what people we're working with NFHS and Play On, et cetera. So, kind of retweet that stuff. Follow, right? If you haven't.
Yes.
If you're not following us already, we know. I mean, look, we're honest. We know how it works. Mesa and I are always talking about this. I'll watch something on YouTube, right? And I'll tell Mesa, I just watched this Honor the Giant video on YouTube. And Mesa's like, are you following that person? And I'm like, no, I'm not. But I watched their video. So we realize that there are people out there who watch our stuff that some people just don't hit the subscribe button or the like button or whatever because they're just not used to doing it. So do it. Yeah. Make sure you get out there and do it.
Yeah. And, this is essentially a proof of concept thing. If we don't get a lot of support for this, there may be a chance that FHS may go, okay, we're all done doing that. And then it goes away. So, I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to really enjoy this stuff. And if you do, you need to make sure you get supported, because right now, again, you're not paying anything for at least the cast, right? I mean, hopefully you sign up for the NFHS feed. But you definitely need to show that there is interest in it, right? Right now, they're banking on what we told them. Hopefully everybody gets out there and support, because we know there is, because everywhere we go to, I mean, we meet people all the time who are out there and do support. So hopefully you support this measure as well.
Right, for sure, 100%. Yeah, it is the prove it model, right? We got to prove it,
Yeah.
and we're going to need everyone's help if you're going to like this idea and this show this year. Don't make it be a 1 year show. Let's show that there's people behind it and a movement behind it, and it can be a yearly thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, again, there'll be a lot more talk about this off season and that kind of thing. So we're excited about it. Friday night spotlight show.
Yeah.
All hitches and NFHS working together, kind of like that would be the Mega Powers handshake. Mega Powers.
It would be.
A few other things to talk about while we're here, right? For our quick 20, 25-minute show while we're here. No updates whatsoever in the coaching updates from our last. We did
other than
State of the Union.
I don't think Gainesville had made their hire yet, but
Gainesville made the hire like 12 hours after we did that show.
Yeah.
And we retweeted it and tweeted it out and everything. So Gainesville did make their hire. But outside of that, still nothing on nothing on South County, nothing on who else? Mount Vernon,
Hayfield.
Hayfield, right? So nothing on any of those on any of those teams. So we're still kind of waiting.
And also nothing. We have yet to hear how the Region D or Region D, right?
We are, yeah, that's correct.
How they're going to do their football playoffs yet? Nothing yet. While we have heard about how Region C is going to do theirs, we have not heard about Region D.
Yeah, there's some rumor now. Which, by the way, and we congratulated him, Coach Cage at Gainesville. By the way, Coach
at Gainesville,
Cage, new head coach. But you're right. There's no word yet on how region Occoquan, I guess, right?
The Occoquan region, yeah.
Patriot and National, how they're going to do their playoffs. They're still kind of figuring that out. The powers that be, like you said, we've heard some things, right?
Yes.
I mean, who knows, right? Could be status quo. Could be the 4-4, 5-3, 6-2 model like we talked about last week. Could be something like Max Preps. Who knows?
Yeah.
Depending on where they decide to go with that. Max Preps makes a lot of sense to me. Makes a lot of sense to you. And you and I have talked about just the flawed PowerPoints in the past.
Yes.
The part what makes them flawed more than anything else, they don't take into account enough of who you played.
Right.
What did you score on that team? Point differential.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
The point differential combined with how good that team was.
Right.
That to me, that's a huge aspect, right?
Absolutely.
You scored 80 points on a team that was a one-win team. Okay, congratulations. You went in. You played toe-to-toe with one of the heavyweights. You lost, but you went toe-to-toe for a while. You should be rewarded for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right? So I think Max Preps' formula kind of does that a little bit.
It does help.
So that'll be interesting.
I will say this, though. The fact that you have a playoff system where you have 4 different regions that do not have the same exact way to get in is ludicrous. It's ludicrous. That's all.
No, I mean, but that's a lack of oversight from a bigger governing body, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, there needs to be a Goodell. All hitches Goodells. We could be the Goodells.
The Goodells, as in plural, not just one Goodell, but 2 Goodells.
The Tagliboos, the Rosells, the Goodells, all the above, all the above.
You know what I think about, though? We have people join the live, and they're like, what's the big announcement? And then we're just talking about regular stuff.
Yeah, that's the problem with the live show, right? Because you're right. I'm looking at the live show right now. What are the current numbers at? We're at 115. You're right. That's a good point. Because if you tuned in the beginning, you heard the big announcement. If you're tuning in right now, we already talked about the big announcement. Right. We're gonna retweet it and kind of summarize it. We're gonna put this show out there for people to watch. So no worries there. In case you're joining us now, big announcement. We are getting our own sort of NFHS Red Zone show on Friday nights.
Yes.
Details are at the beginning of the show. You can kind of watch that afterwards and kind of get the details. But that's kind of the summarized version of it. But yeah, so we talked about that and no more hires, right? At least for now. Now, if history serves us well, in about 8 hours, Hayfield, Mount Vernon, and South Carolina all named their head coaches.
Wow,
The way Gainesville did.
Yeah, I don't even know if they've done interviews yet at those schools yet.
Yeah, they definitely. Well, Mount Vernon I think is closed. I think maybe. Mount Vernon's done interviews because that one's been open for a while.
Okay.
Hayfield, I don't know about. In South Carolina, I don't know about, but I know Mount Vernon had done interviews.
Yeah.
The other thing one thing you and I didn't talk about last week 2 weeks ago when we did the State of the Union that we did kind of want to address afterwards is sort of some of the we didn't mention some of the possible kind of the obvious coaching candidates. Now there's coordinators that we don't people don't know about or whatever that you're like well I mean that's a young Woodson hired a young guy that other people didn't know about and that kind of thing. Those kind of coaching candidates are, you're not going to know about those guys. But there's some big names out there that you wonder about that people do that are kind of household names in Nova football that might be thrown around with some of these schools. Aziz is one of them.
Coach Aziz. Yeah, he's one. I mean, he's one every place he's been at.
It's a heavyweight contender right there. So you got Aziz. You got Coach Pannoni now.
Yeah. I mean, right. Another guy who's multiple head coaching spots, has a state title ring on his finger.
You got Coach Pannoni, you got Coach Aziz. You do have some of the bigger name assistants. We talked about Coach Ludwig from WNL.
Yeah.
That's a big one. So there are some kind of big name either head coaches that are free agents right now, sort of you could say, or assistants that are out there. That might, be able to fill some of these jobs. I don't know if they're applying for them necessarily, but I'm just saying those are some of the big names out there.
Yeah.
And we didn't. I just wanted to mention that because just keep an eye out on those names and see where those guys land.
Right.
Well, fun. Little 20. We kept it almost at where we wanted to keep it. We said between 20 and 25 minutes. We're at 27 minutes. Not bad. No. Not bad for a quick little show here.
Yeah.
And we got
it was fun.
Yeah, we got the big Overton show coming out in 2 days.
Yeah. Good stuff. Hopefully everybody tunes in for it, and it's an interesting lesson for sure.
Yeah. Well, folks, from Dash and Dan, hope you guys enjoyed today's quick little news break, and we'll see you in a couple days with the big Coach Overton show.
See ya.